Batman issue 67. This was a super quick read. This was Tom King with Lee Weeks and Jorge Foams on the art. So this is almost completely silent. There's just a little bit of narration in the last page, and there's one character who stutters a little bit in the middle.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it is a chase sequence. Batman is chasing down this masked assailant. Who I was actually trying to question at first who it was, because I saw the hat and I went, wait, is this someone I'm supposed to know? This looks a bit like
Yeah.
not quite the Question, but I was getting kind of like familiar vibes.
I was getting Rorschach vibes.
Yeah.
No, I was getting Question, Rorschach, Wesley Dodds Sandman.
Oh yeah, I can see that. Yeah.
Definitely of an era, you know, like 40s, 50s, noir. The art, I'm just gonna say it, is the best thing. Like, this is probably the best Batman art we've had in a while.
I mean, low bar, but yes.
Oh, true. That said, the story and the way this played out...
Low bar in terms of what? You said the art's not been good
When
recently?
he said no, it's the best thing.
Oh, right, okay. Because we've had some good art in Batman recently.
Yeah. No, I picked up what he was saying.
Yeah. And to be fair to this issue, like, the art is almost the only thing, because it is so silent.
Which tells you a lot that it still manages to be ruined.
In the greater context of the Batman run, though, I am about tired of these nightmares, and I question King. I know he has a plan, but why have this long interlude?
I almost feel like how many more of these we got? 3, 4?
2, I think.
2? It's only 7 parts. I thought it was 9 for some reason.
No, 7.
No.
7. I almost feel like I just skip those 2 and not miss anything.
I say I can't do that.
No, I can't do it, but I feel like I could.
It's just very frustrating, because the way this one ends, I'm just like, I don't... And after the last issue, which was actually I really enjoyed, because it did dive into that dream logic, and we discussed it. But this one, I don't know.
Here's the thing, I probably like this the most out of all the Nightmare issues. And
even over the last one?
Yeah, I think so. And I think the reason why is because it almost doesn't matter that it's a Nightmare issue. It's just a silent chase issue that looks great. And it's got some fun beats in it. Like, see when they run through the bedroom and the old couple are kind of like, he's chasing them through. There's some comical moments like that.
So here's my thing. I think it's a fine issue.
Yes.
As an out-of-continuity sequel to a previous issue. To the Elmer Fudd issue. Because that's what this is.
Or this shows up in an annual, you know? Like,
right. As part of the this is the next part of the main story. What are you playing at?
Because after what we had with the last one, where we had because we all know these are nightmares from Batman, that it's how he was processing Catwoman leaving him at the altar. To go to this one where it just seems like he's chasing the Joker always. Like, I don't know how to put those together contextually. Versus the first part before the Flash crossover, where we had these are all the fears of Batman.
I think this fear is that no matter who he's chasing, it always ends up being him chasing the Joker.
Is that a thing that does a disservice to other characters? You know what I mean?
Well, you could say that, you could think that, but I think that's what this fear is. It's not King saying definitively that that's true. This is Batman's fear, is that he's always going to be there to be chased or something. I don't know. I don't like this nightmare. I think we're all officially on the train of this nightmare section being a bit of a weird tangent that's just kind of taking the pacing out of everything. Like, I probably like this one the most because it was just a really simple chase sequence. It had really good art. There was some fun beats in there, and I mean, you put it rightly when you say, if this was like a story in like a in Detective 1000, if this was just one of these out of continuity like short stories, or even if it was still 20 pages, because it's not even like I'm reading this and going, I could lose all these pages. It could be shorter, but I mean, I don't think it needs to be.
No. I don't care that it's the pages. Like, that's fine, because I like the art, but I'm just talking overall contextually with what we've had and what steam we were building, and this just takes the wind out of the sails, I feel.
I find it hard to be negative on this one particularly, though, because I actually enjoyed reading this one.
I enjoyed reading it right up until the end, where it actually just annoyed me, where it felt self-indulgent.
I'm not even annoying me out of self-indulgence. It wasn't an interesting twist. Like I was just like, who's this guy in the mask? Oh, and it's revealed to be Joker.
I don't know when it gets to the end and it reveals that it's a pseudo sequel to the Elm of Fudd. It's right. I'm like, why? What's the point? Well, we all know that DC's going to do another wave of those eventually.
Yeah, but I do like that it's the same team. So this is almost an Easter egg, and not necessarily it was a sequel, but it was an Easter egg with him dropping into Porky's and Porky having a stutter. Like that was fun.
Well, and the whole Coyote and Roadrunner thing at the end.
This didn't stick with me. I have to look.
I didn't even get that was supposed to be. I never read that Elmer Fudd issue. I didn't get that was supposed to be Porky.
Yeah, that's Porky.
That's why he's stuttering.
To be fair, he's a human being in this. So it's not like I don't know what Porky Pig looks like.
I would go back and track that down, Pete, because it's a real fun story. Because I did after Connor explained it, I was like, oh, I could read this.
It's fantastic.
And so I tracked it back down, and it's a lot of fun to read.
Yeah, and this here at the end, the man who's dead on the roof was William Ernest Coyote. So why Will E. Coyote?
Right.
And and why? And he smiled and he said, "Beep beep." I'm like, ugh! It just completely ruined all of the. It became
by that point, trash. Yeah, at that point, I was so wrapped up with the Joker reveal that it went over.
Reading the words anymore.
Really, yeah. Just because I saw him and they're under the water with the stupid bike horn.
Yeah.
So I guess that adds a little more context, right? Because that's Joker and Batman, or Wile E. Coyote and the Roadrunner. Like, he's never going to fully catch him.
Yeah.
Yeah. What?
I'm just laughing. Every issue of Batman now, it's like Connor's angry, and he sits there and talks about how it's getting pretentious or self-indulgent. You're always conflicted, Matt, and I mean I've been conflicted with this arc as well. I feel like we're kind of repeating almost the same conversation each issue in this arc.
Yeah,
we are, and that's why I said I feel like I could skip this arc and not have missed anything. Like I could skip the next two issues and just jump right back in like nothing's changed because I'm just going to say the same thing next issue.
Except, see, I really liked the last one, though. So...
That's going to be bad, but remind me what the last one was.
That was the Catwoman. The super noir one with the question.
Okay, that one was good. Yeah.
I really liked that one, and I felt like in the form of a nightmare, it was Batman confronting Catwoman, but, and not getting what he wanted, right? Because Batman's always used to getting it. And with here, like Connor's saying, it's a bunch of gags. But I don't know. Just the Joker chase thing, I'm kind of over. So.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I can't be too mad at this one because I actually enjoyed reading it.
Yeah, and I don't say I'm mad. I'm just fatigued, I guess.
Because there's other ones. The one with Constantine in it, I remember just kind of being kind of like.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Like
burn that one down.
I just felt like a chore to get through that one. Whereas this one, it was nice and.
If you take out the last 3 pages, I like this issue. That's
Because the end doesn't bother me because I think the point he's making here is simple enough that it kind of and it's also kind of agnostic for Batman, right? Where it doesn't matter that it's taking place at this part in his run. You could throw this issue into any run ever or any standalone Batman issue ever, and it would still function because all it's really saying is that he's always going to chase the Joker and it's never going to be over, right? That's essentially what it's saying, right? That always works no matter what, which is why I think this one is the least egregious of almost this entire arc because it's not just about beating over the same beats that we've been playing with Selina, with all these different fears. It's not specific because at least this one. It's agnostic. The rest of them, it feels like we're exploring all this stuff that apparently Batman's going through right now, but ultimately it's doing this. Somehow it's achieving this thing where it feels like despite the fact that we're devoting each issue to a different fear of Batman's, that we're wasting all this time, and ultimately it's going to feel meaningless once we actually get back to the main story. Because it could be that the final Nightmare issue is actually him like finally waking up, but that could happen at the next issue. That could be something that happens at the start of the next arc. And if it does, then it'll be very easy to recommend skipping this entire arc. These 7 issues will be very skippable if that's the case.
Yeah.
I'm just agreeing, because I got nothing else to add.
Yeah. I mean, I started that by trying to add some positivity to it, and somehow I got to that final statement. Which...
and that was without me dragging you down there.
Yeah. I still think you get too harsh, but yeah, this arc's not been hot. it's not been too hot. It's taken a book that I am typically looking forward to read when on its weeks, and that really matters. All right, what are we rating it? What a somber conversation this has been. Liven up, you pair of whiny bastards. Matt, what are you rating?
I'm gonna give it a 7.5. I can't remember what I gave the last one, but I like that one more. But I'm not gonna kill this one too much, because with that Wile E. Coyote Roadrunner thing, I completely whiffed on. It adds a little bit more to this issue, but not much. So.
Well, see, I missed that as well, but I never realised this was had anything to do with any of those characters. I never got that was Porky Pig. So.
Talking about a coyote and then beat like even without that, God, you're a pair of idiots. At least Matt was distracted by Joker. Pete's got no excuse.
I wasn't thinking in that mindset. Why would I jump to this as a Looney Tunes reference?
Because it's 3 weeks and Porky Pig pops up.
Like... I don't know it was Porky Pig. I never read that Elmer Fudd issue. It was just a bartender with a stutter. Why would my mind go to Porky Pig if I had no context for that?
I feel like if I see Coyote and then beep beep, I'm always going to go to that. No matter what I'm from them.
I don't know, I just read the name and didn't recognize it.
There's even more a layer when you realize that it's Acme, right? And in some versions of Joker, it was Acme, not Ace. Still give him a 7.5.
Okay, Connor, what are you giving it?
4.5.
I'll give it a 7. I don't think this is a bad issue at all. I think the arc as a whole's in a bad place, but this issue itself is fine.